What's your pleasure, sir?
All right, well, welcome to another episode of the Cinephiles and Cenobites podcast. My name is Onofre, and with me, my hetero life mate, Mox.
Hey,
Today
what's up, guys?
today we have on the show a guest, writer, director of the indie flick Last Call. Welcome to the show, Gavin Michael Booth.
Hello, hello. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Skyping in from LA, where it's nice and hot, apparently.
Better than the snow, my native Canadian snow.
Oh, that.
See, I feel like if it's cold, you can just put on an extra sweater or curl up in a blanket. But if it's hot, it's like, just take off everything, go to the beach. You can't do nothing.
You're with the title like Cenobites. You're obviously horror movie fans and cover a lot of horror movies.
Sure.
We do.
Yes.
You'll have to check out my previous feature. It was a film called The Scare House, which was an indie horror film.
Awesome.
And staring on my screen, I'm taking a break to talk to you guys today. I'm in the middle of editing a short film which stars, are you familiar with the name Stephen Smith Collins?
I'm not.
He told me a fascinating story about he's very involved in the horror community. He was the one who took over playing Pinhead from Doug Bradley. Movie.
Then yes.
the one directed by Victor Garcia, right?
Yes,
that would be the first.
Yeah, the one that my wife just acted in the short film with him that I'm editing today. So I just thought, oh, that's what a small world. That's if you guys have Cenobite in the title of your podcast, you will be familiar.
Oh.
And he played the Cenobite himself, the priest.
Yes.
Nice.
That movie is awesome because they brought back the Eremite, who we just have not seen since the first one.
I have to say I fell off that series. I've seen them all at some point, but
Right.
it was a writing partner and I just wrote a pitch. We heard that Blumhouse might be picking up the rights because I know they're doing a reboot or a new one. We pitched sort of like an idea that we had, but they already had David S. Goyer. So what do they need us for? Yeah.
Oh wow, David S. Goyer is gonna do
apparently writing it. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Like a hero origin superhero kind of.
Man, I'm just not used to educating horror movie podcasts on horror movies. Yeah,
yeah, dude. Damn, I had not heard that.
Well,
that's
in my defense, Mox came up with the title.
Yeah, he's the cinephile portion.
Huh? It's like, oh, okay.
Perfect.
I guess, yeah, sure. Did we watch all the Hellraiser movies? No, we didn't. No.
We did.
Well, we did.
You love them. I don't know. You just love everything.
Yeah. At the
I
time
feel
of
like
the title.
you get a pass to go to heaven if you make it through all those movies.
Oh,
You should, because they get kind of silly after a while. I think feels like they just bought some random script and threw the damn Cenobites in. It's like, here's a Hellraiser movie. Someone will watch it. Named us.
Put Pinhead on the DVD cover.
Right?
Rich. Yep.
2 minutes in the movie. Watch this movie. It's a Hellraiser movie. Yeah, so we definitely would love to check out your horror feature. Was that your first feature or just your previous?
No, I made a couple smaller features that nobody ever saw. Thank God. They're always what I call my film school movies, where I didn't go to film school, so I spent some of my own money to make 2 feature films to learn the hard way how not to make movies.
Well, that's great, dude.
They were fine. They were fine for what they were. They just, I didn't know anything about the industry side of things or how to sell films or get things out there. And it was part of that, the mini DV revolution where suddenly you could shoot,
Right.
fairly good quality looking films on DV camcorders. And but it was, it was the best way to learn by failing.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, that's probably the best way.
What mini DV did you shoot on?
Oh, of course, the DVX 100, the
DVX, there you go.
DVX 100 with
Nice.
the anamorphic lenses. Yeah.
Nice. Shit, now I kind of actually want to see those. Don't suppose they're digitized.
I mean, they probably exist somewhere on the internet. I just haven't gone looking for them.
Right on. Well, usually I like to
Cool.
start with like a kind of an icebreaker kind of question.
Sure.
Here's one. Did you check out the latest Terminator trailer?
I did.
Oh yes.
I'm
Oh, there's a
very
newer one?
Well,
yeah, it just came out
yeah.
a couple of days ago. So I saw one that didn't really impress me much, but then I saw there's a Red Band trailer which is like very similar but a much better trailer. I'm cautiously optimistic as I think everybody is, and I keep feeling like these trailers are falling short of being great. But I'm still excited for Tim Miller directing. I'm excited for James Cameron coming back and having a hand in the story and producing. I'm excited for Linda Hamilton coming back. You know, her name is failing me. Mackenzie Davies.
Yeah.
My wife did her first ever like post college movie with Mackenzie in Montreal. So
Really?
we've been longtime fans of watching her career explode the last several years, and you know, all the ingredients are there. You know,
All can
skipping
catch fire.
going back to this being like Terminator 3, you know, ignoring the last ones.
Right.
Everything's there to make it wonderful. I hope, you know, I got a little roped into believing that Halloween would be the end all be all, and it was okay, but I don't know.
Right.
You know,
Right. I saw it after the hoop hit, and I was like, all right, we'll see. Yeah. You know, it's not bad. Is it, you know, what Twitter was raving about? Don't know. But I think I share your caution with this new Terminator because, yes, I fucking so want it to be the actual Terminator 3, but it's like, fuck.
it's just is it too late? Should we stop? Like, do we need more Star Wars? Do we need more any of this? Like, of course, I'm going to go buy a ticket and see it all, but I don't know. I would love for, you know, even I did start watching. I'm only a couple episodes in, but Netflix has the Dark Crystal prequel that just came out.
Yes.
It's so far the first 2 episodes are fantastic. Like that's so far been really magical, and I hope it holds up. It feels like they waited to do it right.
Yeah, but what I'm hoping is I get to see some gelflings getting eaten or like just torn, like make
they
it.
They do steal some essences very early in the series. Yeah.
Gelfling.
Yeah, I just saw the trailer for that last night, and I was like, "Oh hell yeah!" It has that same feeling of the original. It's like
a lot
childhood.
of the same. It's a lot of the same people involved, and it's Simon Pegg doing the Chamberlain this time.
Oh wow!
Really?
Oh,
nice. Like Simon Pegg, anything.
Yeah. I had a gerbil as a kid named Fizzgig, so I am like committed.
I love
that
movie.
You
then. Yeah. Oh man. Damn, dude, talking with you, I'm like, ooh, I got to do this after this. I got to do this after this.
That's the problem now, right? You meet up with other friends that are filmmakers or film like cinephiles, and then you're just like, oh, now I've got a list that I can never get through.
Yeah. Because
forgive me, Q.
Before Dark Fate drops, I gotta go through all. Is it 4, 5 movies?
No, you only have to watch the first 2 because it's a direct sequel to Terminator 2.
Yeah, there's the continuity. Just ignore the rest.
It's a palate cleanser.
The only thing that I'm a little bit sad about, but you know what? Oh well, is that they're kind of writing over the Sarah Connor Chronicles, which I thought was pretty good. But you know what? If it's
season 1 of that series was really well done. I fell off the second season, but I really liked the first one.
I think they fell off too. Yeah, because then it started to get like, did the writers get hired by whatever was bigger at the time? But yeah, I didn't expect it. Some dude I worked with was like, "Oh, you got to check this out." I was like, "Oh, for real? I'm gonna watch this TV series, cash grab." Nope.
Hey, you know what's interesting that so the new Terminator, like Sarah Connor, you're a machine, you're not human, and she's like, I am human, just enhanced.
Yep.
And I was like, is this machine in denial, or is our hero like she got to juice it up?
I understand. She was a volunteer to get some kind of implant that basically gives her the Terminator power, but it's killing her, so she'll die. She has a specific
the price?
time frame. Yeah, that's the price.
I felt like they're gonna try and recreate the ending of T2. you know.
I feel like, you know what? I don't care if it's a mirror of that, because I'll tell you what, my 11-year-old little boy person cried his fucking ass, and I was like, oh man, this is the best ever. And there's the thumbs up, and it's like, oh fuck yeah.
You know, the Terminator was human for just a brief, like, millisecond.
I know now why you cry.
Okay.
That's one of my childhood memories that haunts me. I waited and waited, and that movie finally came out, and my dad took me to see it, but there was a storm that night, and it cut out the power to the theater.
No,
But like the timing was comical, because right when she spikes, or when the T1000 spikes through the T800 in the factory fight, and it shuts down his entire system, and you think he's sort of all is lost. That's when the power's
No
cut out in the
way.
theater.
Wow.
And it actually, because it just stopped the bulb burn through the film, it actually melted frames of the film. So they were like, okay, well, everyone can come back tomorrow and see the movie again. I was like, no.
Yeah, that's not gonna do it for a little kid. Are you kidding me?
So we waited about half an hour, and then they got everything fixed and patched up the film, and we got to finish it.
Oh,
Props to your dad, because a lot of parents would have been, you know what? They say we can come tomorrow. It's late. We gotta go. Just watch it tomorrow. No, Dad, you don't understand. We can't break that continuity. I need it.
Yeah, I think he was just as excited to see it as I was. So I had that going for me.
oh my god. Well, Gavin, yeah, let's get into Last Call.
Heard of it?
Heard of it?
Yeah, it's this really brilliant little film that we found on Total Accident. Where did the idea come from?
So David Wilkins, who stars in the movie, who plays the character Scott, is my co-writer and co-producer on the film as well. David and I sort of have coffee regularly out here in LA as friends, and sort of at that point, potential collaborators. I had hired him in sort of small roles in a couple music videos, and he and I had been discussing for a while, trying to find a project. He came to coffee that particular morning with this idea of, he's mostly known for comedy. He's made the most famous Doritos commercial ever, where it's like a little kid using a time machine who tricks his neighbor into like trading him his Doritos to use his cardboard time machine. The actor in that commercial is, so that's David in the commercial.
Wow.
But not only is he in the commercial, he co-wrote it and co-produced it, because that was done for when Doritos in the Super Bowl used to have the contest to make your own.
Contest, yeah.
So they won they were the Super Bowl commercial that year.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's known for his comedy work, and wanted to sort of stretch his wings and show like, look, I can do drama too. And he said, I have this idea for maybe like a 15-20 minute scene where I'm calling a suicide hotline. It would be total drama. Maybe we shoot in a single take. I know you like doing single take music videos and single take short films. And then I said, well, that's interesting, but then you're only hearing the person on the other side of the phone versus seeing them. So what if we did it in split screen? And then by the end of the coffee, we're like, nope, this should be a full feature. This is how we're going to do it. And usually like that for me, it's like that lightning in a bottle moment where I'm just like, nope, this is the next movie I have to make, and come hell or high water, we're going to find a way to make it happen.
Wow. That's really dope. So, again, please tell us, so like, how long was the shooting schedule for these?
We shot, so we had about 10 days to rehearse, and that was all our technical rehearsals. Because the way, so we should explain, I guess, that the film is shot in a single take. There are no edits. The film is also presented in split screen, so that you're watching two sides of a story unfold at the same time. And we didn't shoot one side and then the other. We truly did it with two camera crews running simultaneously in different parts of a city. So there's an A team and a B team filming at the same time.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of technical details to work out, and the main characters interact primarily over the telephone. So they, they're not on screen with each other like a traditional film. So we had 10 days of sort of the tech rehearsal and some actor performance, and then we just had 4 days to get it right. Our goal was to shoot twice per night for 4 nights, but we managed to get 5 full takes and a few false starts. So as I was saying earlier, before we started recording, there's actually 4 other versions of this movie sitting on a hard drive somewhere.
Wow, simultaneously. So you got, I imagine, like on the crew, you have 2 people like on walkies, like just communicating
No,
with you? No.
none of that. We just we
Really?
rehearsed, and then just kind of like went blind. And I just said, so I was actually camera operating one side of it, and my cinematographer Seth was camera operating the other side. We couldn't have a boom operator anywhere. There was just nowhere to hide them and hide shadows and stop
Wow.
boom mic from dropping into frame. So it was a very small team, and then we have one spotter on each side.
Okay. Well, it's good on that on like David's side. Like once he gets to the apartment, okay, that's
It's a little, it's
yeah,
a little more contained. Yeah,
yeah.
we had, yeah, it was interesting. We, a total team really is only about 12 people working on the movie, so it's very, very small and true to the independent spirit.
Nice. Yes. So what was cool on the actress side, Sarah Booth, who played
Hmm.
Beth. That I imagine was a lot more trickier, just because she's going in and out of different rooms.
Were you on that camera?
No, God, no. I was on the easier to shoot. Well, not that any of it was easy, but I started my career shooting tour videos for bands, and I've
Nice.
DP'd a lot of my own music videos, but I was not intended to be the camera person on this. Something didn't work out with another camera operator, and I had to step in very, very last minute. So I took the quote unquote easier side. Well, Seth got to play rock star on Sarah's side.
Oh, okay. Right on. Yeah, just because like the lighting for both sides, like Scott's was just shades of yellow once he got to his apartment, and it's very dim. He's got like I don't know if it was like just to kind of showcase or present his kind of atmosphere, his emotions. It's very dim lit. Only like you got two lamps going on, whereas hers on Beth's side, it's all bright. You know, and the shades of color or tone.
Seems to change as like the mood or the emotion.
Yeah, I was wondering, was that reflective of her emotions, or like parts of the
Definitely. I mean,
conversation?
there's a few things. So I mean, like just first off on the technical side, Seth and our gaffer, Doug Cunningham, had to pre-light all of those locations, the bar, the apartment, the hallway to the apartment, the elevator, and then that entire college and the van, and just everything had to be pre-lit and ready to go. We couldn't have cords showing anywhere. Like they did
Yeah.
a massive job, but for the college, nobody would clean the college in like a dimly lit environment. They would turn on all the house lights
Oh,
and
okay. Right.
and go to work. But we just thought, we want to have this darker mood that represents sort of where Scott is on this particular night or in his life in general.
Right.
So Scott's apartment is 90% practical lights, because we didn't really have anywhere to hide or install lights in such a
Right.
small set. But we wanted to sort of match Beth's to that. And that's why, and it just ends up being more visually appealing to kind of pockets of light in the hallway, or sometimes, like she's lit by just kind of the exit sign when she's standing in the reds near a room. So we just tried to design it so that like we're like, yes, people could criticize and say she would have all the lights on to be a janitor, but what's more visually appealing if we have to watch her in a single take,
Well, yeah, it's
never
better for the
never
mood,
leaving a
too.
location.
Yeah.
So the way we would do that too is every rehearsal take we would film. We would constantly be doing lighting tests, and then we could like put those rehearsal takes together in an editing program and sort of use it almost like we call it like an NFL game tape, where we could go back and watch and be like, oh no, change this, and like look, when there's an actor, when there's a stand-in standing there, like we need the light to catch from this angle, or oh, I can see the cord there. We just constantly watch the rehearsal tapes and make adjustments for all departments, sound, lighting, camera, everything, every day up until we were kind of ready to go.
Wow.
That's awesome. Would you say that's a good method to this long extended one take? Because I was just wondering, logistics on that. Is that kind of your secret?
I
You
don't,
do
I
those
don't, I
game?
mean, I don't know any other method. Like when we do a single take music video, usually it only allows us kind of a day of production. So everybody shows up, and for the next 12 hours, you're going to build, design, rehearse, and shoot it and get it all done in a single day. My cinematographer, there's a very famous single take movie, Victoria, which is on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. That movie was the DP of that movie was very kind to reply to Seth, our DP, and give him some notes on sort of how he did it and some considerations. And, so that was a great help to have, a cinematographer who influenced us also become like an advisor and willing to sort of help guide us on our attempt.
So the scene or the cut that makes the final cut of the movie, which take was that in your shooting schedule?
It's our second last take. It was the second last day of production.
Wow.
We did that take first in the day. And normally what we do is we'd finish a take, we'd take a lunch break, and during that lunch break we would watch the movie back. And that one we all felt so great about it that like, this is perfect. Let's not exhaust ourselves tonight trying to do another one. Let's all go home, get some real sleep, get some rest, because we were getting pretty ragged by that point. Let's come back tomorrow and only do one tomorrow instead of two, and just try to do one better, because we all know that this take will work. So we were right. Sometimes when you feel it, because we knew immediately that was going to be the one.
Nice. Like, and yeah, for the actors in the movie, like, to keep that, that emotion, like towards the end, especially for Sarah or the character Beth, like she gets into it, and I'm feeling it as well. Like, okay, David, you need to, or Scott, you need to answer her right now.
There were definitely takes where one side of the performance, one actor was stronger than the other. So that would happen sometimes, where like it was really like finding this perfect marriage where the technical and the performance on both sides, because we're essentially shooting two single take movies at the same time.
Right.
So we're asking a small miracle that two, it's a rare feat to do one take in a feature. It's almost impossible to do two. So we were really sort of like, it's one of those projects where we're like, we finished it now. We look back on it and be like, if somebody asked me to do that again, I'd be like, nope, no chance. That's silly. No one should try this. So I'm glad we didn't know better going into it, or else we might not have attempted it.
Wow.
And then the other thing most people don't know, because it's just sort of organic when you watch the film, is that not on the same night we filmed the movie, but a few months later after he wrote the score, our composer actually did all of the music live in a single take to sort of match the style of the film. So we had rented a theater in my hometown, which is Windsor, Ontario, Canada, which sits right across the border from Detroit, Michigan. For reference, when Scott's on his balcony and you see a bridge in the background, that's the Ambassador Bridge that connects Canada with the United States. We had used a theater there that we actually did an event for high school kids to come in and learn about how film music is written and created, and then they got to be our witnesses as we attempted this, sort of live scoring session, which was really, really fun and nerve-wracking, but also incredibly beautiful to stand in the room with the string quartet and the musicians and listen to the score come to life.
Wow. Okay. One take.
That started as a joke too. My composer Adrian Ellis, he's done the majority of my narrative film work. He, when I first told him about the projects, he said, "Oh, geez, I mean, if you're doing the movie in a single take, I feel like I got to do the music in a single take." Kind of like, ha ha ha. And then I was doing a TV interview while we were in the middle of production, and at the end of the interview, they kind of said, "Is there anything else we should know?" I said, "Yes, the music by Adrian Ellis is also going to be done live in a single take." And they aired that on TV. So I sent him over the interview, and he just, all he did was send me back the meme of Bill O'Reilly when he lost his shit on TV, just saying, "Fuck it, we'll do it live. We'll do it live." And then he's like, "I don't know how to do this, and we're like a low budget movie. I have no idea how to make this happen." I said, "Well, we got a few months to figure it out." And he sort of accepted the challenge, which I really respect. And there's something about the music where there are actually mistakes and flaws in the music, but it's sort of the same as like there's the odd focus shift or performance and ah. Like, to me, it just felt natural and organic the way the rest of the movie does. And I think that, like, the score in this film is almost a character. It's so important to telling this movie.
Oh yeah, yes,
right, because it's kind of existing in that same time, space, and energy, because it's going as everything else is going. That is fucking great, man.
Yeah, for sure. Wow. Okay. Has this film gone through the festival route
It's
already?
sort of in the festival circuit right now.
Yeah.
We're it's kind of overwhelming. It's played in Italy, it's played in
Wow.
LA,
Wow.
it's played in the Midwest. It's going to a couple festivals I'm not allowed to name yet, but they're kind of fun. We've won 9 Best Feature awards, 5 Best Actress awards, a couple Best Actor awards, a couple Best Cinematographer awards, and so it's been really kind of overwhelming. The film's been very well received, and we actually have coming up on September 13th and 14th. There's a cinema chain here. You're familiar with the Alamo Drafthouse in Texas?
I've heard
I've heard of it.
the
Yeah.
theater.
It's a very
We
famous,
don't.
very famous
Right.
indie theater where it's like
Right.
it was one of the first ones ever to do like the dine-in experience, and it's VIP, and they're very strict about like if you use your phone or talk during a movie, you're kicked out and banned for life. Like they take their
Right.
movies very serious. It's like a cinephile cinema.
Wow.
Well, there's a competitor of theirs called Flicks Brew House, and they have seven different cities, 7 different cinemas. They approached us and wanted to do that's National Suicide Prevention Week. So they've asked us to screen September 13th and 14th in 7 different cities. So it's Albuquerque, it's just outside of Phoenix, Arizona, just outside of Austin, Madison, Wisconsin. There's a few others that I'm failing to remember right now. Little Elm, Texas. But if you go on flicksbrewhouse.com and you live near one of those areas on September 13th and 14th for sort of 2 nights only, you can check it out. So there's all these little interesting things that we never really thought could happen. And then we're doing 3 cities in Canada. We're doing the hometown premiere where we shot the movie, which is the same venue that we recorded the music in. It's a beautiful 1,200 seat theater. So if we pack that, it's going to be a really magical night to have everybody in one room together. And then we're taking it to Toronto. Sarah, who's in the movie, who is my wife, we used to live in Toronto, so we're hoping to have a bunch of our industry friends and people we haven't seen in a long time come out and see it. And then we have another screening in Montreal, which is Sarah's like hometown and where she started her career and still works in TV and film. So those are 3 cities we're kind of just booking our own theaters and setting up for.
Oh wow, nice. This film will blow up, yo.
Yeah, I mean that's the goal, right? That's the real trick with any independent film. No matter how good or bad it is, you just have to get it in front of people so that there's a chance that somebody will like it and want to distribute it, or help you connect to the right sales agent, or direct with one of the streaming platforms now, or Redbox, or wherever people are finding movies these days.
Nice. I'm just kind of looking or browsing through Sarah's credits, and I saw that she was on Helix.
She was.
I loved that show. Yo.
Did you watch the 2nd season?
I did, and so that was
Sarah
just,
plays.
yeah.
Sarah plays the there's the little boy who's kidnapped in episode 1 that sort of triggers the mystery, and she's the mom. So she has a scene where the lead actress Jordan, I forget her last name. I should know this. She's my friend. But Jordan plays one of the leads. Sarah stabs her in like episode 4, thinking that she knows more about the disappearance of her son. And actually, one of the leads on that show, Neil Napier, who plays. Well, see, I'm so bad with names. The Rocketeer is on that show.
Yes.
Yes.
Billy Campbell.
Billy, who plays Bill
Jordan
Campbell's
Jordan Hayes.
Yes. But yeah, so Neil Napier, who's one of the leads on the show, was in a short film that I directed last year called "Are You My Mommy?"
Yes.
And I had done actually we did the world's first live movie with Blumhouse. We did a short film project at Halloween one year that was actually broadcast live to an audience who sort of War of the World style believed it was real, and Neil played the serial killer in that. So I met him on Helix once when I sort of went to visit Sarah for lunch and to hang out on sets. That's where I first met Neil.
Yeah,
Another interesting premise.
Great cast. That season 2 kind of went farther out. Like it was a lot to take in, and I kind of dug where they were going with it.
Yeah, both seasons were shot in Montreal, so we end up knowing a lot of sort of like recurring casts on both seasons.
Oh, nice. Oh, shout out to Helix.
It was great. I didn't watch the first season, but I watched all of the second season. I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah. Bring a season 3 on the petition.
Yeah. Sci-fi, that's the thing. Like if they can get to a season 3, like some of those shows build super loyal followings.
Yeah, Z Nation. Oh, I don't know if that started on Sci-Fi.
I mean, they had Bitten. They have Winona Earp right now.
Oh, Bitten.
Keep going, yeah.
I like Bitten. Yeah, hell yeah.
What's the other one that Sci-Fi dropped and Amazon just picked up recently?
The Expanse.
Yeah, that's another Canadian produced show. It's all in Toronto.
Wow.
Yep.
Canada does a lot of good fucking shows and horrors.
I'm actually
Fucking Ginger Snaps.
Oh, they redid Lake Placid on Sci-Fi, right? Last year.
Oh,
Really? I know they did a lot of the sequels.
It was like a direct-to-TV movie. I can't remember what the subtitle was. Our friend Catherine starred in it, but I haven't had a chance to see it.
Lake Placid. Oh, you know that I'm rewatching Psych right now. So that show's like based in Santa Barbara, but they said it's all filmed in like Vancouver, like BC.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
I'm like, oh.
Like Vancouver was like X-Files was all shot there. All the Stargate series were shot there. All the CW shows, the Legends of Tomorrow and Green Arrow, and all of those are shot in Vancouver.
Wow. Okay.
Supernatural. I mean, I don't know.
That Supernatural is Vancouver as well. Yep.
Dang.
Oh wow. That's a hotbed for I guess a lot of film and TV shows. I mean, I think
there and then like Toronto right now. Toronto has Star Trek Discovery. Toronto has The Boys on Amazon. Yeah, they're super busy all the time.
Nice. Well, I think we only have we have currently Hawaii 5-0. We have
Magnum.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the level and quality of shows that are shot in
Hey, listen, now that everything's coming back, it can't be long before they do a new season of Lost in Hawaii and say like, oh no, there's this other mystery you didn't know that happened.
Another flight went down.
Yeah. And it has all the same people on it. Oh no. Yeah.
We're gonna flash forward 5 more times to
we laugh, but
age.
there's a huge plausibility to that. Like, oh man.
Oh, it's like last week. I was just like, yeah, but what about the sub matrix? We never talked about the sub matrix before. It's like,
are you down? Are you down for this 4th Matrix?
No, not at all. Did you see Matrix 2 and 3? Of course, I'm not down for a 4th Matrix.
Gosh. Because I figured
that 3rd was just the.
And only one of the Wachowskis is coming back for it. So they're like right there. You're like, yeesh. You don't even have both of you. Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet. Well, I mean, they only mentioned Carrie Moss and Keanu, so I don't know if Lawrence is on board yet, or
Larry Fishburne from Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I wonder. It's you know what though? Like in fairness, any of these sequels might be great. We don't know until we see them. But the track record is no, that we do not need a Matrix 4.
Yeah, I mean, because then I already know what the machines did with Neo's body, right? They pretty much just grinded it up to feed all the power cells.
Fed it.
To go back and reuse it.
I honestly never finished the 3rd movie, so I actually don't know. In my mind, it probably has a much better ending. Yeah.
Probably because the ending they gave was just, here we go again. Oh, great. Thanks a lot. No closure.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm down for it. If they get these sequels right, I'm down for it, you know? But then there's things like Toy Story 4 where I'm like, don't do it. And then I see it and I'm like, this is really, really excellent. So
did you
sometimes
like it?
The creatives, I really, really loved it.
Loved it. I thought it was kind of dark too, just because it's like, these toys.
I feel like in a certain way, like they're like most of the kids that love the originals have grown up a little bit, so they should be able to handle it. Yeah, my friend who loves the other 3 movies he calls this the worst one because it terrified his 3-year-old. You know, like, so.
Wow, now I really gotta watch that.
It's like Toy Story 2, the similar ending, but like they sugarcoat it, you know, in the second one. You know, okay.
Yeah.
And then it's like in the fourth one, it's like, no, this is this is how it happens.
This is how real life works. Yeah.
This is real life. This is how toys life really happens. You get an owner and you just live with it. Yeah, I hope it's like, I don't know how if they were to make a fifth one, how better, or like where could they take this story?
I mean, at least they're smart that they wait. Same with Incredibles, right? Where they waited like 13 or 14 years or something to make the sequel. It's like, we're not going to make it until we know we have a story to support it, which is the respectful thing. You hope something like Bill and Ted 3 that's coming. You're just like, we definitely don't need this, but like, let's hope that the time and having some of the original creators involved has given them enough time to develop a great story.
Right. Because then it's like, it can't be the future, right? Like it's always been present time. I don't know.
I actually wrote a spec script for a Bill and Ted 3 about 10 years ago with my friend Daniel Pike called Bill and Ted's Epic Fail.
Oh.
And I'm just wondering if there's is anywhere close to what we had sort of dreamed up for it.
Oh, nice.
And if their movie's successful, maybe we can be the fourth one. Maybe it's all time travel, so things can get messed up again. Yeah.
Wild Stallions.
Well, I just wanted to mention your film is so unique in its premise that Ono cannot ask his number one favorite question that he likes to ask everybody.
Oh, really?
Which is Ono.
Okay. I got to hit him up with this. So a 10-day shooting schedule, right?
Yep.
For you, I guess this is kind of a two-parter. How important is storyboarding to you, and was any of it done on this film?
Nope, literally haven't storyboarded a movie since my first feature.
Oh no!
And my music videos. I guess what's the term they use? Cinema verite, like just much more real life, a lot of handheld. Like a lot of my features and a lot of my music videos. It's just I'm even about to shoot a new movie that's like half improv. So it's all very kind of run and gun and blending reality with fiction. So that's sort of the style that I embrace. But should I ever want to, I mean, I build shot lists all the time, but I rarely sort of storyboard everything out. And I've seen a few of my friends. My friend Paul has a movie with Luke Hemsworth coming out in October called Encounter. And like he does sort of 3D storyboards, and he knows the software very well. And he'll literally sort of previs his entire movie, which is awesome. If I had the time and the skill set to do that, maybe it would be fascinating. But he gets on set and he knows exactly what he's looking for. And I like things a little more organic and loose and feeling it out. I mean, I do design my movies to be, I like playing moments out, even if it's not a whole movie in a single take, but playing moments out where, like the Spielberg one, or is the change from 3 people in camera to zoom over here into a single and then back out to a wide. Like I do like playing with space, but a lot of that is like half discovering in the blocking while we're on sets. I'm sure if somebody ever gives me a real budget and real money and real time to plan a movie, I'll use it more, but just sort of out of the nature of the run and gun methodology, it hasn't been a thing I've done enough of.
Cinema verite. I haven't heard that term in a while. I usually
that's that film school term.
I don't bring it up in front of Mox because he's like don't like it.
He goes, oh, that's where you turn your phone vertical, right? Cinema verite. That's like Spanish for vertical or something.
In Last Call, it's like you got to watch this movie like several times, like just to focus on one side of the story and then the other, and then see if you can get it simultaneously.
There's some people that said that. They said, I definitely was never bored watching it because your eyes are just bouncing. Even if you start to feel bored with something on one side of the screen, there's a whole other movie to look at. And we also tried to keep it interesting that if you remember, sometimes it's presented split screen horizontal and sometimes vertical.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to we want to give people that option, like to sort of stay interested. And also that rotating of the screen was sort of designed to be kind of like the ticking clock of the story, so that it's, but I just, something fresh like that every 20 minutes or so, it just breaks up what you've been watching and just sort of resets your brain almost to like forget that you're watching a single take.
Right. Yeah. Because I try to like kind of piece together, see if like there's any actual like significance to the placing of with David on top and Sarah on the bottom. Like at the
And
beginning,
vice versa.
yeah. Like initially, I thought, oh, maybe he's on top because it's like he's got the heavier baggage. Like he's his story is about to end. Her day is just starting, and then when it's side to side, it's like, oh, they're like it's equilibrium. Like, but
There was a moment where in post-production, so at one point it rotates back and then she is on the right and he's on the left, which we hadn't seen. That was the decision in post-production. It was not like that when we, so if you imagine them the other way around, they'd be looking at each other, because we tried to frame a lot of things where it kind of feels like they're looking at each other almost across the table or something, even though they're in different spaces. But by moving her to the other side, as there's sort of distance growing between the characters and in their story, it ended up having them looking away all the time, which just felt more. And then it also it allowed us to, I don't want to give too much away, but it allowed us to move Scott to the bottom of the screen for a portion of the film, as sort of his life is spiraling out of control and he's hitting rock bottom. We thought, oh, okay, there's some visual metaphors here that just happened to, and that's where, like, even on a one take movie, there's things in post production that you can mess with to change the dynamics of what you originally thought.
That's really cool. I love that. I'm gonna have to.
That was a nice way to put it. The aesthetics. And it is a visually stimulating and
he's
nice
like he's totally looking away. Check this out again.
I mean, I don't mind if you do, and feel free to tell everyone you've ever met that they should find a way to see it eventually.
Nice. Oh, okay.
And for anybody listening, if they want to check it out, like the trailer, a few clips from the movie, and a little 4-minute video about how we made the movie exists on YouTube, on Vimeo, or you can just go to lastcallonetake.com.
Okay. Do you happen to have a release date for the film, like for just the
no? So this was done on a tiny budget, just out of sheer passion. We're doing the festival circuit. We are talking to a few potential distributors, but nothing is set. We've got a few festivals running into 2020 at this point, and I start production on this new movie in October. So hopefully sometime in the first quarter, like by spring at the latest, we'll know more details about when the film's coming out.
This is going to be a really good film for just everyone to check out. Really creatively done, and really good story. Very dramatic and enjoyable. For sure.
We appreciate it. It was a lot of fun to make, and it's been incredible to hear the feedback of the folks who have seen it so far.
Nice. Okay, Gavin, here is the question. One more question, put you on the spot.
All right.
Would you please list your top 6 favorite films of all time?
Top 6 favorite films of all time. Okay. Original Star Wars.
Oh, all 3 or just episode 4?
I mean, yes, but episode 4 in particular.
Sure.
I love that movie the most. Wow. Geez, this is always a tough question. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. The John Candy, the Steve Martin, John Hughes film.
I actually just saw that like for the first time ever. Like recently.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Probably like a month ago. And I loved it. Like I missed out on, like I've always heard of it, but
it's one of his best. I mean, he has so many he never made a bad movie. I really love Shawshank Redemption.
Okay.
Which is a given. That's on everyone's list. Stand By Me.
Oh,
the other Stephen King story, the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
The first one.
Oh yeah, love it. I've seen it hundreds of times.
Right.
And Run Lola Run. Have you ever seen that?
Yes.
The German film?
Yes.
That's like a mind-blowing film for me, where I watched it and then I immediately watched it again and again and again.
Right.
And then I'll go with Kevin Smith's Clerks, because the first time I saw Clerks, I had the same experience where I thought, why, I've never seen a movie that looks this ugly before and has such bad acting, but I love it. Like that was my first introduction to like independent film, where I was like, this doesn't look polished and it's super crude. Like you got to remember when Clerks came out, there was no South Park yet, and no Family Guy. So like that sort of ultra crude humor didn't really exist sort of in movies, especially comedies. The most you got was like guys breaking into a girl's change room in Porky's or something,
Right.
which feels light in comparison when you look ahead. So yeah, most of the movies that are my favorites are the movies that I saw at whatever age or point in my life, and are things that have been huge inspirations for like made me want to just make movies, or movies that really caught me where I've watched them multiple times in the first week that I discovered the movie, and just, still enjoy the movie just as much today as I did then.
Nice. Did you catch Clerks in theaters?
No, but I had read about it in Entertainment Weekly magazine, because we're going way back to when there was, internet was barely a thing. But the minute it hit my like video store shelf or Blockbuster or wherever it was, I definitely paid a couple days of late fees because I watched the movie so many times over and over.
Nice. Oh yeah, that movie is amazing. That was the last. Well, in order, my first introduction to Kevin Smith was Mallrats when that hit the shelves at Blockbuster. Yep. And I was just like, I can relate to Brody so bad. Like, I love comics. I love going to the mall. I love going to the swap meet.
I find part of that, there's always those people who made two movies back to back. Like, for a lot of people, if you saw Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels first, then you love that movie more than Snatch. But if Snatch was your introduction to Guy Ritchie, you like that better. If you saw Reservoir Dogs first, then you like that better than Pulp Fiction. If you saw Pulp Fiction first, because it was like your entry point to they're equally great films, but it's whatever your entry point was to this filmmaker and this style that you hadn't seen before. And I hear that with Mallrats and Clerks a lot, where people go like, oh, Mallrats is better. I'm like, you probably saw it first, right? And they go, yeah. Like that's why,
Right. But I think it worked out because I saw Chasing Amy afterwards, and then Dogma, and then Clerks. And then when you look at the timeline, like I guess it's in the criterion of Chasing Amy, Kevin Smith kind of drew a timeline of those movies, and first is actually Mallrats. And then,
so you saw it in chronological order.
Yeah, pretty much. Like unintentionally, it was like, oh, okay, right. Because then it's like, they bring up one of the characters, the one doing the laps, and then she died at doing her backstroke, and then it's like, oh, I think it was briefly mentioned.
Yeah, it does mention it somewhere. Yeah. Where he's got to go to the funeral. That's the funeral.
The funeral, right?
Yeah. Julie Dwyer.
Yes.
Julie Dwyer's funeral.
Julie Dwyer, right? Or was she the one that had sex with the dead guy in the bathroom, and then she turned?
No, that's his ex-girlfriend, Caitlin.
Yes,
right?
Yeah. Right. You got it.
See, that's what I mean. I've seen these movies so many times. Yeah, we're very fortunate. I ended up meeting and getting to interview Kevin Smith a number of years ago. And then I helped produce a movie called Silent But Deadly that Jason Mewes was the lead in. It was like a horror comedy. So Jason and Kevin invited us out to an early like sneak preview of Red State when that movie was starting to make the rounds. Like, wow. I honestly think, I mean, Clerks is a masterpiece, but I think Red State is his like biggest and boldest film, and it never gets enough attention. It felt like a Tarantino movie. It didn't feel like a Kevin Smith movie, and it was just so amazing and kinetic and like just terrifying, like from beginning to end, but still worked like his humor into it in strange ways.
Nice. Yes. Wow. Awesome, man. Well, Gavin.
All right, gentlemen. Well, yeah, I've got to run. You've got to run, so it's sort of perfect time to end this.
Yeah. Well, thank you again so much for your time and for chatting with us, talking film.
Oh, I mean, thank you. The best thing that us independent filmmakers can ever ask for is people that are interested in our stories and our movies and willing to share it with the world. So all the thanks is on this side.
All right. Awesome. Well, cool, Gavin. Have a good rest of your day, and good luck to you with Last Call and all the festival runs.
Thank you so much. It's great chatting with you guys.
All right. Thanks.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, that is it for this episode. Thank you for checking it out. Be sure to check out this episode's show notes for links to all our social media sites. But other than that, be sure to visit our website, nekkomedia.com. That's Nekko media.com.
.com.
And we also be on Twitter and Instagram. Very active on both of those. And you can check those out at cynical_mass. That's CINECAL_MASS. And feel free to get in touch through email, cinephiles and cenobites@gmail.com. Any movie recommendations, we'd love to check it out. Any screeners, we'd love to review. Any potential guests? Yeah, we love having guests on the show too.
Yeah, if you're a filmmaker, fucking hit us a line and we'll get you on the show. Ask you your top 6 movies and what it's like to be an artist like you.
Oh, yes. And any fellow cinephiles and cenobites, you are welcome.
Yes.
Any place that they can hit you up, Marks?
At villainous_kind, Instagram and fucking Twitter, but don't bother. I rarely check it except when I'm drunk. So
okay.
I'd either send it to Ono or the show.
Yeah, you can check me out on Twitter at thisisono. That's this is OHNO. Same goes for Instagram.
Oh
no. Yup. All right. Well, thank you again. Take it away, Annika.
This has been a Nekko Media podcast broadcasting from the Blood Cave, part of the /Potter family. For myself, Annika Pussyfoot, Mox, and Ono, keep the lights on and check under that bed because there's only one universal truth. No lives matter. That means you. Stay rating, Wokeland.
We have candy.
Probably both, it's really bad. And we do the shit all for you. And we sound like shit while we do. Tigers podcast. We broadcasting shit podcast. Tigers podcast in your face. Podcast. Tigers podcast. We broadcasting shit podcast. Tigers shit podcast. In your face, in your dreams. Shit podcast.
This is a Nekko Media podcast.